Love, light, peace, and abundance. We had a little technical difficulty there. I'm happy that it came on the screen this time. I am Queen Essence, and welcome to another episode of Poetry Unraveled. We are outside once again. We are in nature, and you may see some smoke come across the screen. I am currently burning a very powerful combination of frankincense resin, white sage, and mullein. And I have cleared the space. I've opened the channel. I can feel the energy moving through me. I want to open today's broadcast with gratitude. I am so grateful. The sun is shining. The sky looks so beautiful. The birds are singing. The temperature is just right. Like, it's warm enough, but it's cool, right? Like, I could wear my hoodie and be outside and be chill. Um, and it's not that hot that the bugs are out being, buggy like they do. So I want to express gratitude for the sun shining, for the wind blowing, for the waters that flow, right? Um, Today's broadcast is going to be another potent transmission for the collective that are in tune, and in alignment with the frequency that I'm transmitting, that I emit. Um, Let me see, should I? Yeah. It is a time of awakening. It's a time of reckoning. It's a time of divine balance being restored. And many of us can bear witness in our personal lives to this being truth. Some of us, because we are all on different timelines, some of us may not quite be able to bear witness to it at this time. However, continue to hold on. Your time is coming. We are, as I've stated in several other episodes, we are closing out cycles. We are completing um, chapters that no longer serve who we are now. Perhaps many of you can relate to who you are today is not who you were last year. That's not who you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You have a greater sense of who you are. You have a clearer vision of your path, your purpose, your mission, your assignment. You have a vision that has been given to you that you and I'm going to utilize the language in a way where it may take a moment to process, um, but you're no longer pursuing your mission. You are embodying your assignment because you are either remembering who you are or you're brushing up against the remembrance of who you are, or you are starting with clarity of the process of remembering who you are. Different timelines, it's going to resonate for everyone differently. However, wherever you are, receive what resonates for you and leave the rest. Because of this, it is going to be reflected in your physical environment, right? The places that you go, the people that you're around, the thoughts that you have, the interactions that take place. They're going to reflect to you who you are, where you are on your journey. As I always say, we are energy. Everything and everyone is energy. So, because of that, when we interact with each other, oftentimes we are interacting as a mirror. Something is being reflected back to us. And it is up to us to look at what is being reflected to us to determine if it is our reflection or if we're seeing the reflection of them being reflected from us to them. It is vitally important for us to be focused on self, right? It is easy on this journey to look at someone else and where they are and what they're dealing with and what they're doing that may or may not be affecting you. It takes a great deal of power, a higher level of awareness, a strong willingness to surrender, to look within yourself, to see what it is that is being brought to your attention. What is it that is necessary for you to release, to be able to fully transition to the next level that's available? Sometimes that looks like doing inner child work. Sometimes that looks like being honest with yourself, being truthful with you about what you feel, think, and believe. Sometimes that looks like releasing the things that brought you comfort and gave you strength and stability at one point on your journey. Sometimes it looks like mourning the release of that which no longer serves you, even though you may have some fear, you may have some nervousness of the unknown, right? Because these mechanisms, these rhythm of thoughts, these rhythm of behavior, these ways that we treated ourselves, that was then reflected in how we treated other people, were part of the ego, the self that was designed to protect us from the harsh realities that we would experience here on earth. And they serve their purpose. They have their place, right? So we don't, in my mind, I'm saying diminish them. We don't judge them. We don't look down upon them. We don't judge them because it was what was needed to get us to where we are. However, we get to a point where we have to recognize that those things no longer serve who it is that we see ourselves to be now, the destination that we have the will and drive and determination to reach. That version of us no longer serves where we're going. So we have to be willing to integrate that version of ourselves. Many people say that the old version of us has to die so the new version of us could live. And to a degree, I resonate with that. However, after the symbolic death, I would recommend that there is a conscious acknowledgement of integration, right? Because everything of that version of yourself was not lower vibrational, or let me say it in a positive way. That version of you gained something through the experiences that were lived. And that version of you deserves to be honored for what she endured or he endured, what they endured, and the wisdom that was attained, right? It's like, how can you accept the wisdom that was gained from the experiences without acknowledging and recognizing the one that went through the experience to attain the wisdom, right? And spiritually and energetically, you keep yourself fragmented when you operate that way. It is wise, it is encouraged that we merge and integrate that version of us. And that looks like receiving, accepting, acknowledging all of those versions that learned, that attained, that experienced, right? And even the versions of us that hurt, right? Even the versions of us that we're at the level of growth we are now, we're unable to really process and understand and ascertain what was the spiritual benefit, what was the divine understanding that was supposed to be attained because of all of the pain and disappointment and uncomfortability. And oftentimes, because we operate in survival mode for quite some time on our journey here on earth, it's understandable that sometimes you just don't see no positive in what it is that you experience. However, I would encourage that in those moments, you lean into the strength that it took for that version of you to make it through, because it was not easy, right? Like, this journey here on earth is not a cakewalk. It's not it's not a walk in the park, right? Like, it really takes strength. I was speaking with a young goddess, and she was sharing with me how she recognized and realized through her own living that it takes strength to really live this path, right? To really endure the things that take place on a normal basis of just adulting, right? Like balancing work, balancing school, balancing social life, balancing finances, balancing your own inner landscape, right? Like, you have feelings, you have thoughts, right? Like, it's days you don't want to do nothing, but the system is set up in such a way where you have to always be doing something, right? You always have to be on a goal, you have to be accomplishing something. And for those that don't operate in that way, or who don't succumb to that frequency, some people would identify them as lazy, right? So it's a lot that comes with just navigating earth. And it just came to me throwing in being a parent, right? Having to support, assist, and hold space and guide younger entities that are also having to find their way on this journey called life on earth, to their remembrance, while still navigating your own, is a task that nobody talked about. Like, nobody talked about the multiple layers that is involved in being a parent. And that's like the basic level of being a parent. But then when you are being a conscious parent, um a parent that realizes that this child does not belong to you, right? That they have chosen you as one of their parents to come through to learn and assist them in their journey to remembrance, right? It was already known that certain lessons and keys, I hope you can hear me clear, plane going over. It was already known and agreed upon that certain lessons, 1444 on the timer. It was already agreed upon that there was going to be certain lessons that were going to be lived, um, that entity needed to initiate the remembrance, right? To activate certain gifts that, or abilities and talents that had been cultivated over lifetimes, right? Because it's a reality that this is not our first incarnation, right? Like, we are, how they say, old souls, right? Like, some of us have been around since the beginning of creation. And I would actually go as far to say that all of us, to one degree or another, have been here from the beginning, right? Um, However, we we go back far. We go back far. We're not just like this is our first time being here. So we have lived multiple lifetimes, and during those lifetimes, across timelines and dimensions, we have had other lived experiences that we've cultivated gifts and talents, right? Like we could have been very what do you say? We could be attuned to certain ideas. Like we could have been a healer, we could have been an architect, we could have been a shaman, we could have been a builder, we could have been a teacher, we could have been a guide, we could have been so many things. And in each incarnation, each lifetime, we've been mastering that. Um, and I would go as far as to say that we've been mastering it for the purpose of fully embodying it in this particular lifetime so that we could complete the agreement that we made, the assignment, the embodiment of who we are, and causing others to remember, to wake up, right? And I'm thinking about the Matrix. Do you remember how the whole assignment, right, of the Matrix was when you wake up, right, to go and assist others in waking up, with the understanding that everybody's not ready to wake up. And because free will really is a thing, right? It is a reality, then you can't make anybody wake up. However, you do offer them the opportunity by sharing with them that, hey, there's a whole reality that exists outside of this, right? And in the Matrix, it was presented like that reality, it wasn't worth living, right? I think about trying to think of the one. I hear his name, but I'm not able to pull it in. I hear the frequency of it. The one that betrayed them because he just wanted to eat a steak. And even though he knew that the steak wasn't real, the desire to live in the illusion versus live in the truth was too much for him, right? So that bears witness to the principle that everybody isn't going to wake up at the same time, and everybody's not going to be ready to live in their truth because it it takes a lot of strength to live in your truth, right? Because your truth, the truth, is opposite of what this world has programmed us to understand and to believe and to live every day. And imagine living in what you understood to be the truth of the situation for decades, right? Only to find that that's not the truth, that it was a lie the whole time, right? It was an illusion. Some people, their cognitive dissonance is not able to process that, right? So they battle with it. And that's fine because everybody is walking their unique path and everybody's not meant to wake up at the same time. However, there's some of us that are aware, right? We have been doing the internal walk. We've been, mm, I wasn't intending on saying that. However, that's what Spirit shared. Some of us have been living the internal walk. Hmm, that's pretty powerful because the way that the world has us processing things is everything is outside of us, right? And even the journey to remembrance, right? Living your purpose. Most people process that that's outside of us, but the reality is that's inside of us. When we say that we are connected to source, to God, to the most high, it is imagine, envision that God, the most high, is outside of us and we're connected, right? However, I would encourage you to explore the thought of source being within you because you are source embodied. You are a fraction of the most high. You are a embodiment of the essence of all that is and your unique expression in this physical body. So the journey, the walk is within. The walk to self is within, because you are remembering who you are from your core, from your essence, from your divine embodiment of source. What has a lot of us trapped up is we're looking outside of ourselves. I was taught at one point in my spiritual journey that we come to the planet with everything we need because we are fully because we are fully embodied. I'm gonna pause one moment to plug my laptop up. Thank you for your patience. Laptop was about to die. Laptop was about to die. We're back. And if I recall correctly, the stream that I was tapped into was that um, having us look outside of ourselves for source, for our connection to source, for the divinity, right? Like we as a people, we as a collective here on earth, right? Many of us are looking for something that's greater than what we see, right? We're looking for our connection to something that's greater than what we see being human, right? And with the understanding that we come to the planet with everything that we need because we are a full embodiment, right? We're not incomplete. We're not missing anything. We just don't remember. And that's the point, to live the path, to walk the path of remembrance. However, what we are remembering is within us. It's not outside of us, right? And I think about the book, The Alchemist. That book, that book is so powerful when you're reading it not as a story, right? Like you're reading it as a symbolic expression of truth and what is available for us when we pursue what resonates with us, right? I say this a lot to people. Do what resonates with you, right? Because you are a unique expression of source, and I'm a unique expression of source. And there are some commonalities. However, for every commonality, there is a difference, right? And because there is a difference, we must honor the differences. We must honor, revere, and respect the differences. And when we do that, we create a space where everyone can pursue what resonates with them so that they can remember who they are, right? We being here on earth is like there's this thing that we should all be the same. We should all do the same thing. Like we should all believe in Jesus Christ. We should all believe in Allah. We should all believe in these things. However, they don't resonate with everyone. And just because it doesn't resonate with everyone doesn't mean that it's wrong. And just because it resonates with a large group of people doesn't mean that it's right, right? So when you realize and recognize that and accept that you yourself, you have a unique connection to source, right? Because you don't remember right now, yes, people assisting you and supporting you, holding space for you, activating you, and sometimes guiding you into your initiations, right? Into your remembrance is a part of your journey. However, oh no, somebody telling you as a definite what you should believe in, how you should practice that belief, how you should refer to source, to the most high, and what your relationship should look like. Nah, like I am even if we bring it down to the basic level where a lot of people say this, right? I am a child of the Most High, right? I am a daughter of my divine Father, right? Because that is the case, how is it that another child, another son or daughter, has more authority and power over my sovereignty in my connection to my father, right? Like, if you think about it, even in a family, right? Like, the siblings don't tell the other sibling how to have a relationship with their father and mother, right? Like, if it is friction, right, they may encourage and recommend and attempt to guide them, right, or hold space for their frustrations, their irritations, their lack of understanding at the time, but they don't make them, you know, or like tell them the end all be all on how to have the relationship with the parent and what it's supposed to look like, because each child is a different expression. They are their own unique expression, and they can speak to each other from what works for them with their relationship with their parent, right? And the evidence will show, well, how do I say, the evidence will show the um the value in that approach. And they could try it and it could work for them, or they could try it and it doesn't. Needless to say, um, everything can be related in one form or another to nature. And we're coming to an end of today's transmission, because if you've been here before, you know that we are embarking upon the time where I read a poem. If you are new here, stick around. I will be reading a poem momentarily. However, it is my will that today's transmission resonates. And although it may feel like it's incomplete, I don't know. Maybe to others it will not feel incomplete. Maybe that's my mind. Maybe that's my mind getting in the way. However, the transmission is complete for today. And it's my will that you receive exactly what you need, not only for today, however, for tomorrow as well. And if you don't receive anything else from today's broadcast, today's transmission, receive that you are on a journey to remembering who you are. You are on a path to remembering your divine essence and your connection to source, so that you can be, breathe, become, embody who you are from the original design. And there's so much that is awaiting you on the other side of remembrance. And today's poem, it is short. I call it a poetic invocation, the tone and the flame. I breathe in the tone that tunes the soul, a note not mine, but remembered. I exhale the fire that clears the veil, a flame that speaks without burning. Let the sound find those ready to hear. Let the fire find those ready to rise. I speak not to impress, but to impress upon, to impress light upon the hollows, truth upon the trembling, remembrance upon the restless. I am not here to convince you. I'm here to vibrate what is true and let your bones decide. So come, let the dissonance fall like old skin. Let the rage rise like morning sun. Let this be poetry that does not entertain, but enters. Poetry that breaks the mimicry of peace and sings the melody of your becoming. Let this be fire. Let this be tone. Let this be the moment we remember ourselves. Amun. Thank you for joining me today. Until the next time, love, light, peace, and abundance, y'all.